Our next game is Graft. 2025 is the release date, designed by Max Anderson, Zach Dixon, and Austin Harrison. Art by Kelly Nakamura. 40 minutes to play, 14 plus, and set in the Tend universe. Graft is published by IV Studios.
Graft is a card drafting game with set collection and push your luck elements as you try to create the most valuable shipments. On each turn, players will draft a card, simultaneously reveal it, and place it into their cargo manifest or tableau, and pass the remaining hand of cards around the table. Each card is a valuable good with specific scoring conditions, and the more cards in a shipment, the more points you'll score. However, many of the cards also have restrictions that prevent you from playing specific types of cards in the future. And if you must draft a restricted card, you bust, and all of the cards in your shipment go to your compost pile and no longer score points. Players avoid this by playing their ship cargo card during the reveal and replacing it with another card from their hand to create a completed shipment. Players will score points for each shipment at the end of the game and will check to see if they've earned any medals for shipping out specific combinations of cargo. Once a player ships, everyone replenishes their hands and continues drafting. The game ends when the draw pile runs out, and the player with the most points is the winner. Hopefully that's an okay description. It's kind of a weird game to describe as you're drafting cards and then putting them into your tableau or your shipping container, which is just a line of cards, and then trying not to, you may have a card that says you can no longer play fish cards into your shipment. So you're now avoiding the blue cards in the deck. If you happen to get a handful of blue cards, when it says you can no longer play blue cards, you still have to draw one, but everything that you've built up to that point is gone. And one of the
into your compost pile.
Yeah, and one of the really cool things about this is that push your luck element, which is hoping that I can hold on long enough until somebody else ships, because then all of the hands get replenished, and then you've got more cards to draft from. And there's that little game of chicken of, you can count cards a little bit or kind of have an idea of what may be coming back around to you. But there's only 4 different colored cards. So it's a little bit tricky to be like, okay, which one had all of the blue cards in there? I think I might be safe, but I hope Michael ships this round. So
Yeah,
I can,
because you might be at the point where you have to get a yellow.
Yes.
So you're hoping that I ship so that you can refill your hand and get it up to 6 cards in your hand to get that yellow to make your massive shipment and get that Zenith out to have that sweet money.
Yeah.
Because the points are tight, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good description. I think it's a great draft and pass game with a very interesting push your luck challenge.
Yeah.
Because you never know when someone is going to fulfill an order. That sense of what you talked about. Well, I hope, Mike, we could all be hoping at the table that somebody is going to ship. But if they don't, then somebody is going to bust. Which in the few initial plays, that wasn't a hope that I had. That would just be mean, dear listeners. I wouldn't ever wish ill fate on the other people at the table. Unless it's Doug on my left and Dan on my right, then I'm hoping they send all their cards to the compost. It's that sort of fun and excitement. We're probably not the first show to explain it like this, but I think this game will kind of go down as a sushi go for gamers. It's not released yet. We got a review copy. We were fortunate to pick up a review copy at Gen Con. This game is available for pre-order and will be out and about worldwide. You can get it off the IV Studios website. It'll be out and about here in October and November. There were a couple of things that I really did like about it, Doug, where I'm like, this is one I want to get to other groups. The playtime was quick.
Yeah.
We got 2 games in an hour. I hate making food analogies with board games, but like, oh, I'm full. It was like eating a steak. Oh, that was more like having a kale salad. But I felt like I had a solid gaming experience. And at the end of it, I was like, this is what I'm going to play with my game group. My family, hopefully someday, but it's in that list of potential of my family. But I'm bringing this to the cabin. I'm bringing this to a game night.
Yeah. The things that are really interesting to me about this one that I loved, which is the push your luck element with the scoring combos, because there are cards that will say, well, this card's going to score if your shipment is has 6 pieces of cargo in it. So that's forcing you to stretch it out a little bit. You have ones that are like, for every unique yellow card you get, you'll get more points. So you're on the hunt to try and get as many of those as you can. Meanwhile, juggling those medals, which are additional bonus points, which can kind of make or break the game depending on how well you do on them, which is, maybe you're trying to get 3 green cards and you get a medal. And so you hope you're trying to do that, but you don't know if those cards are going to come around, and you see that your opponents are building. It's like, are they going after the 3 green ones, or are they going after the 2 greens and 2 yellows? Well,
and you can only fulfill 1 per order that you send out. And there's the first one there is going to get 5 points on the most difficult. The next difficult, is it 3 and 1, or?
I think they're all just 5. 5 then at that, like the lesser ones, aren't they 5 and 2
for
or
the
something?
tough ones? But there's a level 1 and kind of a level 2 reward. But anyway, that's a fun challenge with it. Any concerns that you had, or anything that people should be aware of?
Just making sure that the rules are taught correctly.
Well, there's some colorblindness that went into that, but if you want to out me on that, that's fine. My colorblindness actually impacted the learning of the game.
Yeah, but that's all right.
Once that was mastered, only after 1 play, I just took off.
But I think that is one of the concerns, is that it's combining 2 or 3 mechanisms that most people are familiar with in a way that
in a unique way.
They're not familiar with, right?
So I taught the game wrong. I completely screwed it up.
No, but even in general, the idea of drafting, people are familiar with, but people are not necessarily familiar with the idea of drafting with very strict limitations on what you can play, coupled with the idea of like busting. Normally, when you're drafting and playing card games like that, in Sushi Go, it's just you're just collecting stuff. There's no
asynchronous order fulfillment. Right, we're all fulfilling orders, which all those things are things that I really love about the game.
Yeah,
this is one that I do want to introduce to different groups over time. We've had just a bevy of small box card games over the last 2 years of really, really good games, ranging from, whether it's cooperative poker in the gang, or Fight 5 and Flip Tunes were 2 that we covered last week. And Graft is a game that I would throw in the same bag or throw in the quiver, because it gives a very unique experience as well.
Yeah, I think I think you hit it with the unique part, where it's like, it's so hard to stand out nowadays with, I don't need another drafting game. It's like, I like 7 Wonders, I like Sushi Go, and I like It's a Wonderful World. I don't need another regular drafting game. This is not a regular drafting game. It adds different stuff, and the way that you're acquiring cards, and it's like, I like the idea of busting in Quacks of Quedlinburg and that whole idea of push your luck, but I don't have a push your luck game like this. So I think it really fits into a unique spot and does something that's really hard to do these days, which is stand out and be different.